It's not 5 yet. I'm going to call the public safety meeting for the city of Hudson in order on September 5th, 2024, and we will roll call, please.
Alderperson Hall. Alderperson Hall.
Excused.
Excused. Alderperson Morset.
Here.
Alderperson Wakefield.
Here.
And number 3 is our public comments. So if there's anybody in the audience that would like to make any public comments, now's our time to have that exchange. I see Joy is here, but she didn't get enough of the meetings the last 2 days. She wanted to join the rest of us in 3.
I'm learning by watching you.
So seeing no public comments, we'll move to 4 of the approval of the August 8th meetings.
Move to
Minutes.
approve.
And I will second. Any corrections by anybody? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 5, new business. River Valley Deer Management, Mr. Chief Wellen.
Yeah, so Lon, Faya, and River Valley Deer Management submitted their proposed contract again. They have insurance that will be put on file as soon as the contract is approved. Not really any updates from previous years other than a change in the amount he charges hunters. I think it's $50 to take part in the hunting. And that just goes to basically pay the insurance. They're looking for hunters. He's very picky on who he allows in to do the hunting, because obviously they're in the neighborhood, so you want people that know what they are doing. But other than that, the only other thing he really talked about was trying to find additional hunters and additional locations to do the hunting. But otherwise, no real changes.
Did you have a conversation with him, how many he cleared out? Is it 15? How many did he clear out last year?
Yeah, it was between 15 and 20.
Okay. And it's just, is it, as we just talked about, some of the issue is access to the land.
Some of the biggest issue, the 2 big issues are having enough hunters and then having enough places to hunt. Because in order to do it effectively, you have to, a property owner that wishes to have a deer hunt take place on their property needs to have the permission of their neighbors.
Sure.
For obvious reasons, right? You might shoot the deer on my property, but it's gonna run on your property, and then you might not support the idea.
Right.
So if you don't have the permission from your neighbors, or at least the buy-in from your neighbors, it's gonna be very difficult for them to wanna hunt there.
Okay.
So that's kind of the struggle that they deal with.
And for the general public's information and out in the TV land is that this city hunt is from September 14th through the end of January 31st of 2025. And again, they have to have permission to be on their land.
Yep. So if you're a property owner in the city and you want to take part in this hunt, then they would contact Mr. Faya, and he would ask the appropriate questions to try and make sure they have appropriate permissions from their neighbors.
Is there a published site where other people that may be interested in having this can, or do they just have to know?
I'm not familiar with the site,
Okay.
but you would contact Lon Faya with River Valley Deer Management to get that started.
Okay.
Whether you're interested in hunting and being a hunter, or whether you're interested in having a hunter hunt on your property, you would contact them.
Are you suggesting maybe, Lynn, that we put something on a button on the website?
Something so that people are aware that this is an option that they can participate in on either side of it?
Might garner a little bit more access and/or qualified hunters.
I mean, I think Lon's laid out a wonderful plan as far as keeping it safe and having qualified hunters with his, stipulations for how they're selected.
Yeah, he's been doing this for us for the last better part of 12 years, maybe even more. So, any other thoughts?
You want that on the city website, is what you're thinking?
Yeah, maybe just a button with contact information. That way, no one's really getting all the calls at the city hall or at the police department or that kind of thing.
So I move to approve the River Valley Deer Management as outlined in the minutes.
With possible,
Add addition of something on the city website.
okay, I'll second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll recommend approval. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. 3B, the annual Third Street Halloween Party. They've done a real good job up there. It's gotten big, continues to grow. And I know that all the departments kind of are involved with it. Jeff, any issues?
No issues. The plan has developed over the years, right, and I think gotten much better. The buy-in from the community and the neighborhood as a whole has been really good, so everybody kind of understands what to expect, and it's been really good. We don't foresee any issues.
Were there any problems last year? Not even with traffic? That's good to hear.
Fantastic.
Move to approve.
Second?
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all,
We usually park a truck down there, I know you guys do too,
Yeah.
and just to be visible.
yeah,
in the
And I
area,
think the
so.
church has
open the
started
bathroom.
a spooktacular kind of thing, and they opened up for bathrooms and warm shelter areas and things like that. Everything that's been added to it has been an asset to the event.
That's great, appreciate it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, thank you. 3C, traffic safety concerns in the Williams parking lot, which is right over here. Mr. Foster had brought this up for his concerns about safety and possibly pedestrians close to getting hit. I know I had brought this up a few years back and we just kind of observed it. Now that the fire department's gone, I was thinking about it, maybe it's time to put some temporary speed bumps in there or removable speed bumps on there because people do cut across from Commercial Street up over to here to avoid stoplights, especially if traffic is backed up. I would possibly suggest maybe 4 at intervals between where the phone poles are. Sets of 4, or 4 sets of them out there.
I think we have to go through
Yep.
what we set up for I think we can recommend, but I think we need to we've developed a policy of going through the traffic safety committee and hear what their recommendations are for us to approve. I just want to make sure we keep consistent so that we don't handle things here.
That's fine, Lynn, but when we did that, I made it very clear that if somebody gets contacted, either 3 of us, you can bring something here
Sure.
and put it on the agenda, talk about it.
Yeah.
And then if we decide to take action, we can take action, or we send it back to the committee. And it is my preference to send it to that committee
Me too.
instead of making action
Yeah,
tonight.
I agree. I agree
I
with
am
that.
laying out my
Sure,
opinion and thoughts.
sure.
And I want you to, if you get contacted by any constituents, to do the same.
Absolutely.
And then now Jeff is going to follow up and add this to, or Aaron, to put on that site.
Absolutely.
Jeff,
What was your opinion? Can you restate?
I'd like to see if we do something, 4 sets of removable speed bumps to slow that traffic down, and that would be at each of where the telephone poles are laid out. And that's for you guys to talk about, but it has gotten worse, and I think now that the fire department's no longer there, I think there's not as much as that need for speed right there.
I think where the dumpsters are located also creates a visual barrier sometimes for people coming out of the different parking spots. So to have the traffic safety kind of look at all those issues to see if moving the dumpsters somewhere else would give a clearer line of sight.
Just, it's time to reimagine that whole thing. Jeff, any of your initial thoughts?
No, I mean, we haven't received any of that information up until the email that we got from you, so, my recommendation, I'll put it on, I'll go add a thing to the website for for Aaron and for the rest of the committee to look at, and we'll probably collect some data and get a well-rounded picture of what is actually taking place down there and make a recommendation like we usually do.
Okay. Chiefs, you have anything to add on that? Any concerns about if they did something that way? Okay. Any other thoughts? So we are moving this, we should probably have a formal motion to move to the Traffic Safety Committee.
Second?
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
You're so
Thank you.
fast.
Number 6, informational items. Anything? Any wonderful new information? Nope, seeing none. EMS update. Chief John.
Passed around for your, just for your information, the first and second quarter EMS performance review report. Lynn was at the meeting when we presented the full data, so you guys can look at that. If you have questions, by all means, reach out to me. Other than that, just our August volumes, 158 calls in the city in August. That was down a little bit from last year. 108 of those were lights and sirens response, 50 were no lights and sirens. Average response time, 4 minutes and 53 seconds, with a 90 percentile arriving on scene within 8 minutes and 4 seconds. I think last month I talked about, we had 3 full-time open positions. We still currently have those open positions. We did interviews this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Had a great group of candidates for that, a lot of them with experience. We made 3 job offers today to fill those spots, so we're just waiting to hear on that. So that's looking up compared to what we've been used to for the past year and a half or 2 years. Vehicles are the same. We're still waiting for our new vehicles and trying to just keep them on the road as much as we can. I don't have anything else to report.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. Chief Drew, Fire Department.
Yeah, not much to report. August was busy. The storm that Tuesday last week, we had 15 calls, but the majority of them were in the village. They got hit pretty hard again up there. The city was spared, but the village not so much. So we're right on pace again this year for over 600. So nothing's changed there. So that's all I got.
Very nice. You got your full list of people? Full staff?
We're full staffed, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very nice. John, were you? Are you back to full staff?
We will be if they accept these,
3?
the 3 people accept it, we'll be at full staff.
Police Department update.
Same story as usual as everybody else, right? The summer months are our busiest time here. We had 2,187 calls for service in the month of August, which is up from July. But with school back in session now, we anticipate a little bit of a dip in September. We had the one employee that was on extended medical leave, light duty. He ended up accepting duty disability from the state. So he left. So now we officially have an open position. We're anticipating an open position after the first of the year with the retirement of Lieutenant Munich. So we have just put out, I think on Tuesday, I put out the posting on the state website, and I already got 3 applications and
Awesome.
3 additional emails today that they will be submitting applications. So things are looking up as far as number of applicants on our end too. That'll be open through the month of September, and then we'll start the selection process in October.
Nice,
To have a list by the 1st of November.
Wonderful.
nice. Any questions for Chief? Maybe I should start asking Melanie for updates too.
Maybe she might have different updates.
All right, seeing them, we got the reports. Communications items for our future agendas. I have 1. Actually, it's related to 2. I got a complaint from another constituent out there In regards to speeding on Canyon Pass, he did submit on the portal. And which brings me to the second question is when do we review those? Is that gonna be a monthly update?
Well, so
Bi-monthly?
what happens is we meet monthly to talk about new complaints. Most of those require some kind of data collection,
Okay,
and other review. Canyon Pass, that wasn't the one, what was the private road that we talked
I
about?
think that was, I'm trying to think. One of those was a private road that we had
One of
no
the
jurisdiction on.
complaints-
it's Canyon Pass, a private road. It's a pedestrian path for Cedar Canyon to Whitecamp Park.
Yeah, so we don't really have a lot of jurisdiction over private roadways.
No.
So those are kind of sticky. There's, you know, it's part of the recommendation, but anyway, to not get ahead of myself, the question was, when do those come back here to
Yeah.
review? After we collect the data, whatever data that is, and we can review it and determine whether or not, A, there's an issue to be had in the first place, and then what we think might be able to address the issue, then we'll bring that back here to you guys.
Okay,
So
so
usually it's probably two
month lag.
month meetings, removed. So,
Yeah, usually, like, if it's a speeding, usually it involves setting the speed boards out and collecting speed data. You know, just because one person complains doesn't necessarily mean there's an issue, but if the speed board says, yep, 90% tell they're 10 over, well, then there's an issue. So
Okay,
before we do anything, we always try to collect the data first.
perfect.
the same thing with signs, you know, there's a lot of them requesting additional signage for this or that or the other thing. So we go and inspect the location or the area to determine, is there signage there? What does the NHTSA manual say? You know, that's a lot of what we do, is collect the data and then go back to the national standards and determine what needs to be done, if anything.
Would some of that be put back on the HOA if it is a private road for them to supply signage?
Yeah, so like with that one specifically, and I don't want to speak for Aaron or anybody else that's on the committee, but when there's a complaint that's on a private property, technically, the recommendation will probably be to recontact him and have him address it
Sure.
with his association.
Okay.
Leadership.
Great. And the second item is, have we had issues with the change of speed on Carmichael? I've gotten some complaints about it not being marked well enough.
Oh, it's plenty well marked. I shouldn't say that. It's marked well with the 35 mile an hour speed limit signs, but there's no real indication that there was a change.
Okay.
So
How would we remedy that, or is it,
I can talk to Mike and Aaron about it and see if there's something we can do. Put flags out,
okay,
put a sign up, a temporary sign up that says speed change ahead or traffic change ahead or
Yeah.
something like that, just to get people paying attention to it.
yep,
My experience on the north side of Hanley Road, you never really had, I mean, you can't really get up to speed at 45 miles
Sure.
an hour anyway. So I haven't really seen an issue with it. I know that our traffic crash numbers haven't decreased down there. And I know at the last meeting, we talked about briefly, seeing if there's anything we can do with the lights to make dedicated left turn arrows, right, where it's green for a left turn and everybody else stays stopped. And then you get a red arrow when everybody else starts to go, so you kind of alleviate those turning movements with traffic coming at you.
but that's only on Center and then
Center,
Crestview.
Hanley, Crestview, Stage Line, you know, all of those. I think Stage Line is the only one currently set up like that. I think it could really alleviate some of the issues if we were able to do
For
that,
Center
especially at
especially.
Center Drive and at
Yeah, is that timing through the state? Are they adjusting those, or are we?
City. The ones that cross the interstate, those are state.
Okay,
But now that we have the one with the flashing yellow, is it just a matter of adjusting that?
That I don't know.
Because if it's buying another thing, my
And
goodness, we
that's-
just invested in that.
Yep. And that's what we have to find out.
are you doing that research?
Yep.
Okay, so once you have that, bring that.
Although the flashing yellow from where I work, that I see less close calls right now. I mean, that we used to see more. I think that even the flashing yellow has made them more aware that,
Yeah.
be
It's
more
not just
cautious.
a green light. You still
Yes,
have to yield.
yes.
But the big issue, especially with Center Drive, is the visibility.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're in that left turn lane to make a turn, and there's someone across from you making a
Yes, you
left-hand
can't
turn
see.
on the center,
That is not on the agenda, so we're kind of getting off on a
Sorry.
tangent there, so. It is,
we'll look at it.
yeah, and bring it back, especially since we've spent the time and money on it, so. Anything else for future agendas? No? Nothing?
Move to adjourn.
And I will second, and we will stand adjourned. Thank you very much.